good morning Brooklyn, good morning New York. Here I am still in New York doing my interviews today. I have a very special guest, my friend and Rhonda, which is here. Hello Rhonda, how are you?
Hello, very good.
Rhonda is going to talk to us today about something that I really am passionate about. Is about acting. She is a coach in acting and she's an actor. I had the huge opportunity to see her play just for me alone and her director, and I wanted to see this play because it's really uncommon, if I may say. People think that usually playing it's all about comedy or drama. It's neither or nor. It's just a story you said. You told a story. Can you tell us all about it, please?
Yes, definitely. So the play is called Badonda, The Adventures of a Girl with a Pain in Her Brain.
With the what in her?
A pain in her brain.
Pain in her brain, yeah.
Which is key. So the story is really about my journey growing up, feeling dumb, feeling like I don't fit in quite socially, but also not really failing in a large way, but just having a myriad of issues, just connecting and figuring out the way things work, though things were always really fine on the surface. And so it's really about that journey, and then it continues on as I get older, and it goes into relationships and into my work and into all of my other dealings with human beings. And it leads me to a diagnosis, a dual diagnosis of audio processing disorder and sensory integration disorder.
Okay, I saw the play. I saw the play.
Yes.
The first hour, you understand nothing at all. You just have a girl she was a girl and she grows up and she has like problem issues. She just thinks that she has a problem in her brain, like she's just abnormal. Sometimes she makes it, sometimes she doesn't make it. But finally, after 1 hour, we're there, thinking that she is like, we're gonna see like a huge disease. And finally, it's something very curable.
Well, it's something. It is curable. It is curable, and I move into the place in my show where I talk about what I did to really, by and large, help me to heal from those two disorders. But the disorders, audio processing disorder and sensory integration disorder, they're not widely known.
Exactly.
They're becoming more widely known, and there are more and more people being diagnosed with it, but it's sort of off the frame from, dyslexia or
autistic.
Well, it is a spectrum disorder, but it is a very low level spectrum disorder. Both of them.
What age can we can somebody who's like a baby or like a kid can notice that?
I think probably toddler age. Yeah,
I'm
not a therapist. I'm not somebody who diagnoses this, but
was it possible like years ago that you discovered that disorder?
Well, they've been looking at this disorder for about 30 years, truly. But it's kind of hard to get the word out, and also you have to get funding and do studies. So it's very little known. And the amazing thing is every time I do this show, I get people who come up to me crying.
Yeah, you told me.
Because their life, they really relate to my life. And one of the things that happened that you see in the show is as I got older, I became more and more overwhelmed by life.
Yes. Diagnosis especially, and everything that's going on outside. Like you were getting very introverted in your actions, like you didn't want to communicate with people.
No, because I was so overwhelmed. Life, the sounds, the lights, the computers, are now our phones. All of that takes some amount of processing.
Yeah, too much information.
And it was just the information basically was getting stuck in my brain, in the highways of my brain, and they were just stuck in processing.
Okay. Can you tell me the treatment? Is it a long treatment? Is it difficult treatment?
It is not difficult. It is called the Tomatis Method.
Tomato?
Tomatis.
Tomato?
A Frenchman.
Oh,
Yes.
Dr. Tomato?
Dr. Alfred Tomatis.
Tomatis, okay. Monsieur
Oui.
Tomatis. How, I mean, what is it? It's no pills. It's just...
It is a listening therapy.
Mhm.
And you are listening to either Mozart or Gregorian chant. And that music or that Gregorian chant is being filtered through something called an electronic ear. And what the electronic ear does, it essentially acts as a filter that is giving your ear the frequencies that are missing in your hearing spectrum.
Oh, I see. Okay.
And that has a profound effect on your entire system, your vestibular system, your mind, your body as a whole. And it is really the thing for me that changed my life.
It's fascinating. And in the play, you said that you got to know this by chance.
Yes.
By somebody, and that's again. I mean,
Mhm.
can you think? How old were you when you discovered this disorder? This
Oh,
lady
it was now 5-6 years ago. So I was an adult.
Oh my God! So basically, you live all your life, and if you didn't meet that lady, you would never guessed what you had.
Right. I mean, I knew that lady. I knew that lady well, and that lady was also trying to help her son who had Asperger's. So she stumbled upon it.
Okay.
And then shared it with me.
This is what is it called?
Asperger's,
Yes.
which is another spectrum disorder.
Okay, another one.
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So in this play, I had the chance and the opportunity to see the play. I found it amazing because I said to you, I told you before, as a writer, why you never wrote it? Why you never wrote the story? Because such a story need to be written so everybody in different languages could at least know about it. Because I never heard of it. So though I
Right,
I
right.
have kids and I know. I mean, you only hear like the heavy stuff, and then this is intermediate to you, as if.
It is intermediate because you can continue to live, but you're absolutely miserable.
Okay. So, all parents, this is going to be under one education. I'm not kidding, and under a therapy, because there is a therapy behind it, which is very important.
Yes.
A therapy, but there is a third thing, and we want to talk and concentrate about today is about acting.
Mm-hmm.
Acting. Today, as an actor, yes, but as a coach and acting in coaching actor.
Yeah,
Yeah.
coaching acting.
Would
actors.
is it possible for anyone to start acting?
Well, certainly. Certainly. Number one, if they have a desire in their heart to learn the beautiful art and skill of acting, anyone can approach that. And I think, for me, what really allows a person to continue to act and act well and make progress as an actor is freedom inside, their own personal freedom, their willingness to express and explore and make known to the outer world what is true for them. Because when you're acting a role, that's all you have is yourself. Mm-hmm. Yes, you have your text, you have your script, even if it's a script that you write yourself, but it's an illusion that happens. So there's a text, there's a script, then there's an actor. Mm-hmm. The actor is giving life to what is in that script. Mm-hmm. But it's not some character that exists out in the ether. It is only that person.
Okay. So basically, you're telling everybody, it's a therapy. Acting is a sort of therapy.
No, what I would say is acting is therapeutic.
Therapeutic.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So shy people can do it. Outgoing people can do it. For different reasons.
Yes, for different reasons, definitely. And there is drama therapy, so there can be a therapy element to it. Mm-hmm. I think most actors who study acting and participate as actors, they find the work very therapeutic.
Okay.
But should you choose to be a professional actor, then it also becomes a job. So, you know, there's lots of
different issues.
Different ways to approach it. I mean, as a child, can you play soccer? Definitely. It doesn't necessarily mean that you are, you know, professional.
Okay. So we're going to do a small pause and get you to ask Rhonda some different questions I would like to. Okay?
Okay.
See you later. Hello, this is us again with Rhonda, the actress and the coach of acting. So the first question I ask you is everybody can act, and you said yes. Now, is there an age to start? Which better age it is to start acting?
You know, the beautiful thing about acting is on some level you can start at any time.
Oh.
It's, you know, it's because you are the art. So whatever age you are, you can begin. I have an actor who's in his 80s who probably started acting a couple of years ago. He just sent me a list of projects that he is doing. Lots of films.
Okay, films.
Lots of films.
Okay.
Probably, yes, probably if you're trying to build a great stage career, you may want to start a little earlier, and it's always great. If you start a little earlier, you can make more connections in the business.
Yes, yeah.
But right now, there is tons of film going on, and I'm really watching lots of people of all different ages make progress and move forward in their acting careers.
So basically you're saying you can start whenever you want, whenever you feel like it, when you're ready for that.
Sure,
okay.
You can. I mean, certainly there, you know, something that has shifted, and I see it continuing to shift, is like the acting, the types of people who end up in film and TV. We're getting a little more, let's say, like a little more away from everyone having to be the most beautiful of beautiful.
Exactly.
Because you can go to Hollywood and there are beautiful women everywhere. But I see a lot more, you know, real looking people,
real people.
doing TV shows, doing projects. So it's possible.
Okay.
It's possible.
Good.
I mean,
Good
look,
to know.
it's always great to learn something when you're young as well, and then you can maybe able to make more connections. So there's lots of different paths in.
Okay, good. So basically you are giving hope to everybody that wants to start acting like me. So this is it. Now, a question that I ask many actors. It's true, it's very, very hard to get through and to be somebody, if I can say so, somebody known, famous. Everybody that I saw as an actor has a different, like you're an actor, but you teach acting too.
Yeah.
And everybody has a second job or a third job. So we don't have to be hopeless. I mean, it can always, like, is it a full job, or it could be only, because you said theater, but never again, it can be ads, it can be in the movies. So there is not a specific type of actors. You can do acting with something else, like another job, another.
You can, and lots of people do. And really, as an actor, you have the option to create lots of different paths that can be really fulfilling. Now, to be a big Hollywood star, that is one particular path.
Yeah.
And you know, you're going to have to do specific things, and there are going to be things that you're going to have to excel at in order to do that. You can also have a career, a very wonderful career on stage.
Yeah.
And there are particular things that you're going to have to do in order to make that happen. And that is definitely less lucrative than having that big Hollywood career in film. But you can also have an amazing career being a teaching artist and doing shows while you're doing your teaching artist work. And there's lots of forms that a career can take, but there are always things that you will need to do. And I think that that's where it becomes challenging as an actor, because if you do have a day job, then you have to get away for auditions. So I think sometimes actors often feel like they are being pulled in a million directions, and you have to be on it. I mean, I'm talking once you decide you want to be a professional actor in some, you know, your time and your schedule are being stretched to their very limit. And there's a lot of things that you need to show up for and be prepared to do and be ready to be very good at a, you know, and that takes training.
And time.
And time and effort and lots of energy and missing things in life that other people might easily show up for, like birthdays and holidays and weddings and...
So please be nice and, you know, with actors, because they're having a very tough life, especially here in Europe.
Oh.
So that come to me for some question. If you look backward in your life, would you have changed something? In apart that you would ask your mom, let's go and see a therapist to, you know, apart that as a personal issue.
Yeah, you know, I mean, I think my answer a little bit does tie into that, because I wish I had a better grasp on the way the world worked. There were so many things that I couldn't quite figure out that I look back and I think, oh, I wish I could have figured that thing out. So when I feel like that, I think to myself, okay, what is it right now that I feel like I can't figure out, and what are the steps that I can put together in order to figure it out? Because things with the internet now are just infinitely more figure-outable.
Okay. So you would have, it's related to everything you had.
It kind of is, you know?
Yeah, and when did you feel that you wanted to be, if you weren't an actress, or like in coach acting, what would you have done?
Oh, there are so many things I love.
Like what?
I love acupuncture.
A therapist, like
be an acupuncturist. I might consider being a therapist.
Okay.
For a while, it was archaeology. And these are not things, you know, that I typically spend my free time doing. So there are a lot of things that I really enjoy, and I have told myself,
you know what, you might
focus in. No, I've told myself, no, we're not adding on acupuncture. We're not
know.
adding on therapy. I'm not going to be
today.
like, I need to focus in on this, because this is already so much.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and when did you feel that you were going to do acting? When it started?
So I really felt by about 5 that this is what I wanted to do.
Yeah.
And that it just always stuck. And I remember when I was in high school, I was sitting in the auditorium. We were in tech rehearsal for some show. And I sat there and I thought, I love this. I want to do this forever. And then I just said to myself, if I do this today and I choose to do it tomorrow, then in that day, I choose to do it the next day. And I sort of saw it all go out. I thought, that's the way I can keep doing this.
Okay, so you started thinking about it really young.
I did.
Okay. And what if today I ask you, le conseil, how do you say in English? Sometimes I'm a bit tired about that. Advice.
Yes.
To all the girls, because we are girls.
We are girls.
Yes. And we try to protect each other. And what would you recommend for these girls today that everybody, unfortunately, and I have to admit, that they have no role models. It's only, they want to be superstars. Okay? So somebody who wants to start acting, like one of my daughters, for example, what would you recommend? Sincerely and deeply, about this very difficult job.
Well, I think it's a twofold recommendation because there is so much out there that a person can be involved in now. I mean, because everybody has a camera in their phone, there's a lot of film opportunity out there. So you can move on that path on your own, but as a coach, I also recommend training. I look at, I think about Kate Blanchett, and I look at her acting, and she is a well-trained actor. And to do that kind of work often requires that, I mean, it always requires that kind of skill, and that kind of skill I deeply believe is fostered through training.
Training, a lot of trainings.
Training, and also then with that training, taking a deep breath, taking a risk, and taking it out there. So you're out there doing the work, and then you're coming back to the training. And then you're out there doing the work, and then you're deepening the training. So you can continue to go further and further.
You have to have a good coach.
You must have a good coach.
Yeah, because no, it's not because you are. Many people today are doing acting, but they're not proper directed by a coach. So basically, the trigger is that the secret is like having a good coach too.
Yes, and what is a good coach? I will tell you, it's not necessarily a coach who is directing you, but it is a coach who is teaching you how.
The skills.
How do you create that moment? How do you create a relationship on stage? How do you make where you are believable? How do you make it believable that this is the first time that you're saying these words, even though you have deeply memorized them? How do you use all of these skills to move forward? Yes.
You said something to me earlier, and you said, Shireen, you could be a huge actress, but if you want to start making your own show, you need to have a coach of writing.
See, I'm a big believer of coaches.
Yes,
I'm
but
a big believer of
you
coaches.
told me so many people acted and no one did. So basically, the thing you told me, you have a good writing coach and then you can move on acting. But there are the two. And everything that comes from you, from what you feel, it will one day be a good play because you were like coached by two professionals. It's just not going out loud and just acting like everybody think they're actors. So if you have a recommendation, you gave us the recommendation for girls, is practice, practice, practice.
It is. And may I also just say, it's not only just acting, it's also keeping your body in shape, dealing with your voice and making it strong and flexible, and keeping your mind in shape.
Okay. Now, what if today everything is perfect and I am telling you, you know what, Rhonda, I'm a magician and I have a magical wand. You just close your eyes 1 second and you think about it. What would the wish, the only wish I could possibly create for you?
It's so, I'm sure, so cliche, but world peace, without a doubt.
Yeah, especially in where I live.
I mean, when I see people in camps and having no place to live, and even the earthquakes that Italy has just been suffering. Oh, I just want everybody to have a home. I want everybody to have a bed to sleep in, to go to bed at night and have a pillow to put their head on, and know that in the next morning they'll have breakfast.
That makes me, how do you say it, give me a frisson. It's, I can only tell you this is, I'm totally with you, because when you think that you have 80 million of people in Africa, they don't have to eat, and we are there throwing food, that makes me really anger. But anyway, a last thing, and a quote that your life is based on?
Yes. Okay, here's my quote. It is by Rabbi Morris Adler. Our prayers are answered not when we are given what we ask, but when we are challenged to be what we can be.
Another frisson. Very beautiful, Rhonda. Not she's an actress, but she knows the right words to say. So again, this is Shireen and Rhonda, and sorry for the small interruption we had, some technical problems, like it could happen. So, but finally she did what she had to say, the end of the quote. Rhonda, would you like to have the last thing to say for everyone that is looking at us today? I mean,
sure.
yeah, just you're free to ask the question you want.
All right, so I want to ask you a question.
Yeah, but that's not supposed to be in this show. Okay, yeah, go on.
Can I?
Yes, yes,
Okay.
it's going to be the first time that somebody wants to ask me a question.
Okay.
I feel so, you know.
My question is that you were drawn to write your own show that you are considering for the stage. So I'm curious to know what draws you to write your own show and want to perform it on stage.
Yeah. Rhonda, that's supposed to be a secret.
I did not know that.
Well, now that everybody knows. Yes, what drove me to want to start writing my own play? Believe it or not, very short message, very short answer. As a little girl, I knew I wanted to change things in life, but don't ask me what. I started acting when I was 11 or 12. Okay. It was in the middle of the war in Lebanon, and I had this lovely teacher of acting. But then you know, life made things more difficult, and the war and everything. And basically, the thing that I want to write, and I want to play it. That's going to be even harder because it's going to be in English. So for me to say it in my third language after French and Italian is I need to make a statement. We say statement.
Statement.
Statement means need to say things.
Express something that is true for you.
Yes, I need to make statements, and I've been keeping them for a long time. And since I come from different backgrounds, different cultures, I think we all, basically and finally for women, need to think the same way and feel the same way. And I would like to be there on stage saying that. Voilà. This is what I'm trying. Hopefully, maybe somebody called Rhonda is going to help me with the coaching, acting, but she's going to be overseas. I'm going to be on Skype, and she's overseas, so it's a bit different.
It's
difficult.
Lovely. It's lovely what can be done these days.
Yeah, you see, this is internet. This is the only thing I like about the net. So basically, thank you for the question. Yes, and voilà. And I hope that next year I could do it in New York somewhere. So I'm very excited about it. Am I going to do it? I don't know, but at least the intentions are here.
Okay.
Okay.
All right. I'm very excited.
Merci Rhonda to be with us.
Thank you.
Merci to Jack that is helping me here in New York. And thank you for everybody to be with us on this show. And I tell you thank you, and we will catch you very soon. Merci. Merci Rhonda.
Thank you.